Hi everyone. So everybody has been talking about Bitcoin, and in November I left it for $900 a coin, and today I just checked, $4,600 a coin. It's like crazy. So if I bought $1,000 worth of coins in December, it would be worth all of a sudden $4,600 right now. So the money which I have had in my bank account would have gone 5 times or 4 times. So I'm going to experiment with that. But while I was doing that, we have Ben here, and Ben was telling me about Ethereum. So
Yeah.
what's the Ethereum blockchain?
So Ethereum is a platform for smart contracts. So Bitcoin is is digital gold, basically, right? So it's very limited in its features. But Ethereum is a different platform with a totally different idea, and you can learn more. I'm not going to get into it right now, but you can definitely learn more about it online. But one of the biggest things that's happening on the Ethereum blockchain is ICOs, where you can raise money, using the blockchain. But essentially, you could do anything on Ethereum. You could create a smart contract for a will, where automatically you set up the rules in advance, and then after something happens, the will is executed and the money is distributed automatically to the people who need it based on rules that are predetermined in the contract. So there's lots of use cases for Ethereum which are very interesting, but it's definitely something to check out. And the price of the coin has gone up significantly. A lot of people who got in on the pre-sale, if they had just bought a couple $1,000s worth of Ethereum in the pre-sale several years back, I wish I bought more. I bought a little bit myself. That same Ethereum could be worth millions of dollars today. It's definitely a great opportunity, to look into. So if you're a programmer, definitely learn Solidity, which is the programming language behind Ethereum. Solidity. And you could, type it in the comments so people know what it is. But to be able to code these type of contracts is huge right now, because there's a big demand for people who have those skills. So if you're looking for a niche and you want to be able to get these type of projects, people are posting them on freelancer sites, and there is work to be had. You should learn this language.
So if I'm to make Rehan coin, what happens? What do I do?
So what you would do is you would publish a contract on the Ethereum blockchain, and that contract would say that so many coins can be minted or created. Those coins can be distributed even free of charge. There could be all different types of distribution. Steam, which is a very popular platform, and it's one of the top coins, was a totally free distribution, and now it's worth millions of dollars. So there are lots of ways.
What does it mean, free distribution?
It means that the coins were distributed for free.
To the friends.
Exactly, to people to anyone.
So say I have 700,000 people who follow me on Facebook, and I give a coin to everyone.
Exactly.
That's 700. So they all get $1.
Exactly.
And then how is it worth anything?
Well, just because you do something doesn't necessarily mean that it's ever going to be worth anything at all. But the idea behind it is, that a lot of these coins, some of them have a great idea behind them. Some of them are going to solve a specific problem. Some of these coins are total bullshit, in my opinion. There are a lot of companies out there, because this is the wild, wild west, essentially, that create a fancy website, put out what's called a white paper, and say we're going to do all these fancy things. I saw one the other day for Dentacoin, which is supposed to be a coin that's going to be used in dentists or something like that. Maybe it's going to happen, probably not. But in the meantime, a lot of people created a lot of wealth, and so some of these coins are pump and dumps, and you got to look into them. You do your due diligence. Some coins are fun. I'm sure with Rehan coin it would have a fun. It doesn't always have to be about something serious, but at the same time, it can be whatever you want it to be.
So if you were Rehan, how would you design Rehan coin?
I don't know, but it's something to think about. And that's the beauty of Ethereum, is that you create a contract, you decide what the magical formula is going to be, how many tokens are going to be issued, what the mechanism for issuing them is going to be. You build a network, if it's going to be accepted by merchants, maybe there are merchants that are accepting Rehan coin, well, then they might have some value, possibly. There could be some interesting features about Rehan coin. It could be the fuel of some type of network. So a lot of these coins, you can do a coin a different way. Some people are doing a coin which is like a security essentially. And if you do that, you have to be aware that the SEC, if you're in the United States, there's regulations associated with issuing securities. One of the ways around that is by creating a token that's essentially the fuel of a network. So you build an app, for example, and in that app, you use this token for a specific purpose inside that app. Now it's a fuel token. It's a token that fuels the network, not a security. A token could allow you to unlock certain features or to use it to get, anything. But
And what's this hype about ICO? What is ICO?
ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering. And one of the first use cases of Ethereum, of these smart contracts, is people who have ideas. Maybe there's something you want to do. Ideas take money, and instead of issuing stock, instead of issuing a security, they're issuing tokens, which are basically marks on a ledger to keep track of who has what. And those tokens entitle you to different things, and that can be coded into the smart contract. So ICOs are very interesting. There are a lot of ICOs that have some potential, and then there's some that may not. But the beauty of the system is that people can experiment, and you get a lot of experimentation, and we're going to see what's going to work and what isn't. So one of these ICOs that just happened was for a BAT token, basic attention token, and it was created by one of the developers of Mozilla Firefox. And because this person is very well known as a developer, raised something like, I think, 30 million in 20 seconds or something like that. And there's a lot of these ICOs that are happening, and it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
All right, thank you, Ben.
All right.